One thing that these first few months out here in Thailand have revealed to me is that you cannot find community while you are still in survival mode. And I'm not saying survival mode like to be like this existential, like doomsday. Like, the reality is, when you have moved your entire life across the world, you are trying to figure out how to survive. Like, it's quite simple. Where do I go to get food? Where do I go to actually get healthy food? Where am I going to actually lay my head to rest? Like, where am I going to find my new home out here? Who can I trust to actually help me navigate that process? How am I getting to work? What train line am I supposed to, what train line, what train line am I supposed to take? What apps am I supposed to use? What bank account am I supposed to, like, the list goes on and on and on. And it goes back to this whole notion that I shared a couple of days ago around needing to actually be able to pour from a full cup or pour from your saucer, because otherwise it's like trying to put the bricks on a house before you've actually laid the foundation, like before that slab has actually had time to cool and set. And I'm realizing this week has been the most social week that I have had since being out here in Thailand. And it's no coincidence that it's also the week that I have felt the most like myself again. And it's really exciting. So these past 3 days, I have been out and about, being a social butterfly, but not just being out and about and trying to find anyone who is willing to talk to me and like wants to hang out. I am being very intentional out here in Thailand, especially around who I am choosing to spend my time with, who is actually aligned with my values, who is providing a reciprocated love and care. Because I already know myself, I also know that I have plenty of friends and family back home who I am intentionally also trying to maintain and nurture those relationships. So the capacity for net new community, one, I do firmly believe that it's important to find community wherever you are, but it's also important to be intentional around the people that you are choosing to add into your circle. And so the past 3 days, I haven't come home past before 10 p.m. Like, I have been, I will say the first 2 nights it was with coworkers who I have found to become friends that I'm actually like excited to spend time with, like not talking about work and just existing together. And then tonight, we did a double date with one of my friends and her husband, who's also now a friend as well. And it's a beautiful thing just to be able to have people who understand what you have been going through, who can provide insight and just encouragement and motivation. Like, you just gotta get through it to get through to the other side of it when it comes to navigating this transition. But also just like having people to do life with out here. Like, yes, I have Darian, love him down, that's my best friend. And also, it's exciting. Like, tonight, my friend, her husband, he is actually Thai, and he took us to, I don't remember the name. If I describe this in your Thai, you would know what I'm talking about, but it's essentially the Thai equivalent to Korean barbecue. It's a very social eating experience, and you put the meat like on the cooking thingy on the stove, and you cook the meat, and it turns into, it like trickles down into this brothy soup, and it was so delicious. It's interesting because I spend quite a bit of time learning about the different universities and the highest tier faculties out here, and the place we went to was near Chula. And Chula is one of those schools that we spend a lot of time doing research on, understanding how to ensure that we are bringing the top talent from that school, as well as a few others here in Thailand, into the company that I work for. And so to actually be on their campus and to be hanging out around like where the locals are, like where the local students reside and their stomping grounds, and learning more about different Thai cuisine. Like, it was such a cool night. And we got to do some celebrating. We got to just catch up. And I'm grateful to actually have people out here that I can navigate this journey with. And so I think one of the things that I am just like, I'm so amazed at is how quickly I have found, and I'm still finding my people out here. My coach, Glow Atama, always talks about how the reality is that you've likely yet to find your favorite people, which is one of the things that I had to stay anchored in as I was kind of grieving the reality that my relationships back home wouldn't look the same now living across the world. And also, like, there is capacity and opportunity for God to reveal some of my favorite people in this next season. And so I think when you are in the survival mode, and I'll speak for myself, like, I was not my best self, let's be honest. Day in and day out, I was just trying to figure out, what do I need to do today in order to stay afloat? What do I need to do today to ensure that we have everything in place for my paycheck to hit the bank account? What do we need to do today to ensure that we will keep a roof over our head and understand how to pay for our rent? What do I need to do today to figure out how to be on time for work and ensure that, I'm able to navigate the different apps and the different modes of transportation, figure out what works best for me, and not wanting to get to work sweaty, but also wanting to, find the most cost-effective way of transportation. And by the time everything is said and done, we tired, and the cup is no longer full. The cup is no longer full. And so how am I then expecting, and it's not that people always have to experience the best version of you, but for me, it's like, I want to ensure that people actually get to experience me for me. And the reality is, like, those first few months, I was not me. I didn't recognize myself. Who am I? Who are my people? Like, how am I meant to show up? Like, the identity crisis was at an all-time high. So yeah, I think it's interesting how being out here, it kind of reminds me of when I lived in Dubai for 3 months for an internship back in college. And we had a very fascinating immigrant community. And I am being very intentional with my wording and using the word immigrant and not expat. I'll likely bring in my sociology PhD majored husband in a future video to discuss the importance of us using the right terminology there. But going back to what I was talking about, there were several immigrant communities where we would have the Americans, we would have the Frenchies, we would have what's the word? Not the Londoners. Do y'all say that? I don't know. But the people from the UK, like, we would just have all of these different groups of people who moved to Dubai to work. And I found, like, we had such a fun time together. Like, we always knew that even if we didn't necessarily feel a part of, like, the in crowd when it came to the locals, we always had each other. Like, we could always go to brunch together, go to dinner together after work, like, get drinks together, whatever. And I feel that here too. I'm definitely not as, like, go with the flow with, like, anyone and everyone who wants to hang out here. And I may come off as a bit standoffish in that manner at work, but I would just substitute that word standoffish for selective, because I am very clear on the kind of people that I want to intentionally do life with out here. And so sometimes that does mean saying no, or politely, of course, saying no to certain people where that alignment is not there. But it's great having such a diverse team and so many different kinds of people to interact with, of course, in the office, and then make the judgment call on whether or not we want to hang out of the office. When I was living in Seattle, it was many of us who had moved to Seattle and had no community out there and were out there just for work. Similar situation where we just, like, bonded, and we were intentionally seeking out friendship and community. And I think that's a big difference and a big catalyst as to why out here I've been able to find my people way faster than I was able to find my people when I was living in Raleigh. Part of that is that Raleigh is one of those cities where it's chill, laid back, relaxed. Many people who grew up in Raleigh stay in Raleigh. They know each other. They're already connected. There's no need for them to go out of their way to find new friends. Like that's the vibe of the city. That was also the vibe of Seattle. Like some people I think called it like the Seattle freeze, where it's just like the people who are there, who've been there, who rock with each other, like they frozen, like they're locked in. And so in Seattle, I remember, those of us who were actively looking for friendships, like we bonded. In Raleigh, I think I was also in a very different time of my life. Like it was my late 20s and I wasn't really trying to go out to like, the clubs, or I didn't really have a team out there either. Like we didn't really have a recruiting team. I had another friend who was a recruiter who, we would hang out outside of the office, but it wasn't like we were at the office and then like, hey, you want to go get dinner? Like what happened yesterday? And so, yeah, a lot of this is just like your environment truly will create the opportunities for you that you desire. And for me, I'm grateful to be in an environment where there is such a diverse representation of immigrants who are here. And also there are some phenomenal, just like human beings as a concept, where I'm looking forward to learning more about Thai culture through, of course, like tomorrow we're going on another excursion. So like through stuff like that, but also through just like the one-on-one conversations and the connections that I get to build with people day to day. So yeah, I think that this whole notion around being able to pour from a full cup, my cup is finally filling up again, and I almost feel like I'm a bit more not courteous. I'm a bit more generous with my time and with my heart and with the opportunity of I'm more open to the opportunity of genuine connection. So if you are in a season where, maybe you're similarly trying to find your community, but also you may be on the heels of being a people pleaser in the past and just going with the flow of people who, I guess, just accepting people who gravitated towards you and your light, even if it meant that, even if it came with the reality that they may not have been good for you. If you're on the heels of that kind of situation, if you are currently in a state of, relocating and trying to figure out your community, I encourage you to make sure that like you are clear internally regarding what it is, like what values you hold yourself to, what values you expect to hold others to, and what kind of friends and what kind of friends do you actually want to attract and spend time with. So we have options, like we can be intentional, and I encourage you to do just that, but everything starts with alignment with your values. So we are on day probably 10 at this point of posting every day, and I'm speaking of just like the people that you attract. I've been trying to get through all of the comments of that have been coming through on the videos from the past few days, but again, just wanted to say to everyone who is new to this community, I see you, we see you, we are so grateful that you're here on this journey with us. I'm excited to continue to share now that like first slab of concrete has dried. Like I'm excited to share what those bricks look like, of like what we're adding to our lives and what we're adding to our experience here in Bangkok. I feel like the adventure is like, now we're starting the adventure. Like the backpack is on. And now we are just looking forward to exploring and for God to reveal like all it is that He has for us out here, who He has already handpicked for us to interact with and spend quality time with out here. And who should we be giving these suitcases to? We have we have several suitcases full of stuff that we need to donate to those in need. So I saw it around my shoulder and I was like, girl, please. It's been almost 2 months in this condo and you still have those suitcases in that hallway. But anywho, these designer eyes are not lying. I mean, these designer bags under my eyes are not lying. I am exhausted. I'm gonna go take a shower and go to bed. And then we have a really fun excursion tomorrow. So I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow.